Is Random Parts, and basically it's an artist-run space. And maybe you ask, well, what does that mean? It's basically we're not commercial, we're not like a traditional gallerist, but it's flexible. We'll have not just exhibitions, but we'll have like we're having tonight, today, artist talk. We'll have either book readings, music. We're just starting, and thank you for all coming and being part of this. And I think Carlos is gonna do the introductions.
Yeah, so as Juan Carlos said, that this space is flexible as we were building it out, and because of the funding from Kickstarter folks, and for you guys who are here today, thank you so much for making it happen. So as we were building it out, Lazaro was in town trying to get some rest from crazy grad school
In New York.
At Hunter College in New York. He came in and we all talked to see if he wanted to do something spontaneous. So he said he did.
Spontaneity. 3 days. So, which is really incredible. To 3 days non-stop, hardly slept. We just gave him food, drinks.
I slept here actually. It's awesome. I have a card.
Yeah. And Carla and I were basically whipping them with this.
I was saying this later. Put this
So yeah, great energy. It was very spontaneous, and we're lucky to have them come back. For this reception, and yeah.
Well, I guess I'll start talking now. First of all, thank you guys for coming. I know it's a little rough with the weather and everything, but I guess it's good for California, or it's a little dry these days. Second of all, I'd like to thank Juan Carlo and Carlo for hosting this and like making me feel welcome. Colleen, definitely. Yeah. Sorry.
Don't forget about the women.
Yeah.
I know. It's like a little I'm still recuperating. I'm still resting a little bit. So mind me if I'm a little.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. First of all, mind me if I'm not so articulate because I'm still a little tired. Anyway, yeah, this is it. Generally about. Well, I guess I should talk about what my work's about, huh? Okay, I deal a lot of Filipino American, identity and post-colonial issues generally. So got to do with religion. So I try to set up a narrative with some surreal associations, but let's see, and generally I just like to tell stories. I think that's very important to have a narrative in one work, and I play around with the idea of art and experience. I think which is really crucial. I really believe that it's really critical to make a work of, not just strictly art within its own autonomous space, that it has to incorporate your own experiences and in general, so you could tell, it's easy, to really relate to that in that sense, to get that component of the human element and everything, not just strictly forms and line or things like that, which is a lot I learned in grad school, which I try to go contra of, actually. So as you go to this wall, how can I explain this? Where did you start? Well, I started generally when I work, it's very spontaneous. I get a feel for the space. I always like doing installations, and there's something about a space that you become so intimate about it. We just doing things on the wall, So generally I like to freestyle a lot, just spontaneity and that creative drive and energy, which I really love. So here you have this. It's called Confession, and I play around with religious themes also. So we have this woman confessing to all this chaos that's happening. But a lot of my work, even though it's grounded on a sort of critical view of Catholicism, but there's also a sense of spirituality and hope about it. So it's not really too bleak, so to speak. So as you navigate to the wall, you see all these chaos, but there's a certain serenity and rest about it, and these these forms, these pink forms. Actually, this is a good idea to why I came about this too. Also, I mean, I came here with no specific plan actually, and like have the very limited paint, like very limited time to work with. And the color scheme, actually, this is also what I mean by work to experience and stuff like that, is that my sister gave me this lighter, this big lighter, which has like pink, black, and white on it. So this whole like color scheme came from this actually. So I was just skateboarding around, I was like, what the hell am I gonna do, you know? So from that, this whole color scheme came about. So yeah, and as you navigate to the wall, you see all this like the meat thing, which is one of my favorite verses in the Bible, Matthew 5 verse 5, basically the meat shall inherit the earth. I think it's a beautiful saying about like struggle and overcoming struggles, even though it's, you know, it's like a chaotic world, but there's a sense of hope that should like come about, you know, and almost have this non-defeatist sentiment about ourselves. I think it's really important. So on this other end here, you would see this I gotta go this way, I forgot. On this other end, alright, this is a set of narratives that you would see. This one's called Batter Up. It's like 30th ton of Catholicism actually. This is my portrait of myself as a Catholic schoolboy and all my experiences growing up in the Philippines and the whole Catholic upbringing. So in a way, it's almost like a contra of like trying to get these things out, all these like colonial education I had for a long time, to struggle with it. So trying to also, as if like spelling all of it out in that way. So you have these demons. And
I hear you.
Yeah, right? It's hard, man, it's hard. So anyway, so here you go. I mean, just to be a joke about it, the Jesus head on there. Like as it was like a ball, like shifting it, and there's a state of rest almost on this corner right here for some kind of like, I mean, I love the window actually. That's why I had to play around with it. It's almost a sentiment of like serenity almost, even though the imagery is very dark, but things are growing. Something about things growing that I really love, that really caters to my particular like you know, symbolism with when it comes to me making work. You know, so from all this arises that skull and things are starting to grow. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, I have a play with words also. I play with words and text with imagery. So I think as it, you know, you follow the direction of it too, it gives it a sense of movement, so to speak. You have it. It's like very blunt, but a dark sense of humor, which I generally do have. You know? and we related to this, yeah, because I slept on this wall, I mean this space. So, you know, I made a whip about it, because a homage to Wonka and Carlo over here, you know? Because I was a little worried, like I will not get this thing done, so I have to whip myself up, like literally. Kind of like self-whipping almost.
You missed the ceiling.
I know, I was gonna do it next time, next time. Because that would have killed me completely. Like, I would be like Michelangelo style, you know? It's like, I'll play around that some, you know, when I get a chance next time. So, yeah, just went with leading to Juan Carlos's space over there. So, oh. Should I start again? Or there you have it. I mean, generally, a lot of my work, yeah, definitely with Catholicism, issues with Catholicism, my post-colonial education, and the Land of the Lion movement. I think that's about covers it, and how it was whipped into shape over here. It was fun.
Which artists are your influences? Would you say?
I have a lot actually. I mean, I generally navigate towards California in terms of your art practice here. It's really great. There's a certain sense of freedom that comes with it, you know, and it's just free spirit. As opposed to New York, it's a different dynamic altogether. I think you guys are more laid back, really chill, and have a good sense of humor about things, which I really love. In terms of influences, Betty Bond, definitely. A lot actually. I can't really do my of mine, but Trenton Noel Hancock, Deborah Grant, I know you're familiar with these artists. They do a lot of illustration. I generally gravitate towards like illustration and comic work, but given that, I try to incorporate a sense of like profound meaning into it of how I see it. So it's not just strictly graphic. There's a certain sense of personal symbolism that I incorporate within the work. I guess that's about it. Any more questions, guys?
Can you explain how Hunter College is for you?
Oh, my experience of Hunter College? I hate it, to be honest with you. No, I mean, generally, I feel like a sore thumb sticking out. My crits have not been so well, but whatever, It's just a different dynamic altogether. I mean, a different kind of head in terms of making artwork. They're very conceptual, which I have nothing against, completely. As long as you're very invested in whatever discipline you do or ideas, I respect that fully. That's all I have to say. It's just,
But do you get respect?
I don't know. I guess I'm not, dude. But it's cool. It's cool. As long as I love what I do, I don't really care or cater to criticism as much. In the end, it's just you and your work. That's all there is. That's all you gotta gravitate to, and you just gotta keep on just pushing. Just pushing. Have a lot of guts about it. I have a thing for guts too, by the way. Just as you can see, it's clearly obvious that I do. I think I mean, in terms of it too, experiences. I get a lot of issues here also. I mean, the hand thing actually was pretty interesting because me and Wonka were walking one time around to National Avenue for tacos, and we saw this. I've been meaning to send you that poster, man, but I kind of lost in track. There's this beautiful hand about anti-gentrification.
Yeah.
So I tried to put that in there, like this hand of this carnivorous dog coming out and just hauling and destroying, like people are like not having a power, so to speak. They're impoverished and stuff like that. So those are experiences I take in, growing up in Manila, that was a major part of me too. I was witness that happen, squatter areas and stuff like that. So all just various psychological states of seeing your external environment, so to speak. So that's what I mean by art and life should always be like together in experience, Shouldn't be just a slow read of significant form, so to speak, so.
Do you have aspirations to do public art, like graffiti or something like that? I can see your work.
Yeah, definitely, I want to, but I'm still, because of the training, I guess, I'm not as gusto about it, because I have this kind of, I don't know, I respect it very deeply. I guess I'm not that very bold with doing graffiti art. I mean, I used to, like Sharpie markers back in the day, but it never really didn't really put me in there. I didn't really go further enough, but here it's a good place to experiment with a wall. I mean, this is the first time I've ever did pure wall before, actually. I mean, I've done like a parallel between like paintings and wall, this disposition of like play with like imagery and painting and wall, kind of interior exterior dialogue. So I think the narrative is so strong here that I didn't really need to do that. So there you have it.
I don't know if this is
Go ahead, Matt.
if the right subject matter came along for you and something aligned with your beliefs, and if you didn't feel like you were selling out, right? If this opportunity came, would you ever consider doing graphic novel work?
Yeah, definitely. I'm open to anything. I mean, the whole thing selling out thing, yeah, it's like, that's like punk gusto in me. It's like, oh man, fuck, I don't want to do that shit. But like, artists have to make a living, man.
Yeah,
seriously.
You'd be
artists have to make a living. We all gotta make a living.
And it would be great. You'd be great.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, it's in the works. I'm trying to put a volume of my drawings together into a book, actually. I'm working on it. It's a long process, but hopefully it manifests to something. And, it's a hard project. I always keep busy. It's a good thing to have, to do, actually. Keep busy, keep working.
Can I share that? So Lazaro came here like on a Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we got the width, and we had to. I think by between skating breaks in front,
Yeah, I do love
smoking
skating.
cigarettes.
Yeah, smoke cigarettes and skating, which is a weird mix, you know?
But when he finished this project, basically his hair was gray.
Yeah.